Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is Shayna Baszler, and you're watching Going In Raw.
This is the knockout artist, Cassius Ohno, and you're Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Whoa. When are you going to get...
Young boy Larson.
Thank you. And welcome back to Going In Raw. It's the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey man, smash that like button. Let's try to get this one up to 605 likes. The NXT episodes really seem to need them these days.
Yeah, they need the extra little push.
There's just a general declining interest level in wrestling these days that we've noticed.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting considering that basically everybody's home. You'd think TV viewership numbers across the board would be through the roof, but that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case.
No, they're finding other things to do. Everybody is live streaming, dude. As we're filming this live on the Twitch, Adam Cole is live streaming. Wrestling Observer is live streaming. Everybody's live streaming. I've noticed more when I get on Instagram. I've noticed more just people doing the live video stuff, man.
Yeah,
it's the thing to do. Nobody's watching. Everybody's just filming. They're all just out there doing their thing. They're the ones broadcasting.
Mm-hmm. You might be onto something there.
Anyways, yeah, what are you doing? Like, nobody's watching. Everybody's the ones. They're all just broadcasting.
I don't know. I might find out if I slept like garbage last night, so I'm hoping to be able to do the music live stream tonight. We'll see if I have the oomph to do it. I
hope so too. I was gonna try to do like you doing that. I was gonna do either a drawing or like an art live stream or a gaming live stream on Tuesday, knowing that you were gonna perhaps do it on Thursdays. I was gonna stake the Tuesday night spot for me. And yeah, I don't have. I think the thing is at our office. So I got to go and I might go try to grab a load from there today. Anyways, let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about NXT. That's what we're here to do. Fairly significant episode last night with what seems to be, I don't know. On one hand, I think it's I saw some evidence of divisiveness on this Ciampa Gargano sort of specially filmed match. But I did put up a poll, and so I wanted to kind of use that as like a jumping point here. I think the thing is, it feels to me like the people who are maybe hardcore NXT fans really came out for this poll, or maybe this was just actually the general sentiment amongst our audience anyways. But I was kind of curious, or I was kind of interested to see that a full 83% gave this either yay. So I offered up 4 options, man. I said yay, nay, mostly good, some meh, or mostly bad, some good. Okay. I sort of left out the option of right down the middle because I think generally speaking, you're going to fall on either side as opposed to just down the middle, maybe. So I figured I'd add a little bit more shades of gray in there. There wasn't a 5th option, so that's why I didn't do a straight down the middle.
Wouldn't right down the middle be the ultimate kind of shades of gray?
Yeah, but I mean, I'll put it this way. I think that the results here on the mostly good, some meh, and the yay sort of speak volumes as to why it was a good idea not to include that if something had to give. Because mostly good, some meh was 40%, yay was 43%. So a full 83% of people were on the more positive than negative side, and only 17% were on the negative side, mostly bad, some good, and nay sort of split their own votes, 8 and 9% respectively. So that was kind of an interesting, but then what's funny about the poll is that the vast majority of the people who actually responded and had something to say about it, most of those were negative, or at least had. I think a lot of these were sort of. Let's see here. I'll just read out some of these because it's sort of interesting to get the friendo's opinions on stuff. Let's see here. Wilbert Pion said the commercial breaks ruined the pace of the match. Simply Shaggy also said the same thing about the commercial breaks. Let's see here. Noah didn't even watch it, so why would you respond if you didn't even watch it? He said, I was bored with this before it started. Well, you didn't watch it then. And then Chris said this match made me no longer care about either man. Chester said, "Who is voting yay? Who are you people? I've never hated a match that much," which confuses me also. I had a fairly nuanced, I think my view on it is fairly nuanced. I'd probably fall in the mostly good, but some of it was meh category.
I would fall right in the category that you did include, right down the middle.
Okay, interesting.
50-50.
Yeah. So you saw equal parts yay and nay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
It was overly long at points, ponderous.
Well, hold on a second. Let's start on the other side of things, man. What did you like about the match?
Why can't I start from where I want to start? Why do we have to start with the positive? Why can't we start with like a full breadth of what I think?
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then. That's cool.
Essentially, like the whole stuff they've done the truck was largely pointless.
Okay.
Like the whole middle section when they're out in the truck, it's like they just want to get some fresh air. Hey, let's fight on top of the truck because we haven't seen that. We just saw that WrestleMania.
You ever been in an hour-long match? Maybe you need some fresh air. Maybe it was super stuff. They're in Florida.
Could be. No, I understand that.
Probably
I mean, like walking in this kayfabe wise, they don't know it's going to be an hour long.
Okay.
That whole section, like the whole middle section, if they had chopped that out and just did some, fisticuffs inside the venue, Ciampa rips off did they show Ciampa ripping off the mats on TV?
Yeah. I swear to God I saw that, but I could be filling in the gaps myself.
Maybe because I was skipping through commercials because I watched it this morning. And when I stopped skipping through the commercials, the mats were already off. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
I thought I saw him do it or after because I thought I remember Drake saying, "Hey, Ciampa, stop doing that," or something like that.
That could be. Like it started out fine. The end, when they actually started getting to the nuts and bolts of the emotional aspect of the match, was fine. Just the whole middle section, it just seemed like it was tossed in there to fill the match out, to fill time on the episode, which I understand. They have to fill episodes out in ways they might not have before due to everything that's going on. But I think it came at the expense of building up the drama in the story they were trying to tell when they just had them on the truck brawling. And there's no real point to it beyond, hey, let's go out in the truck and brawl for a little bit because it seemed like it'd be cool. I just didn't really feel like it added much to it. I think the thing that not necessarily bothered me, but I have reservations about, is that they said Triple H is all right, it ends here. Given how it ended, it's not ending here. You know?
Yeah, I think that, I think it probably is done just because Triple H, what he said was, one guy, you guys stay in here and whoever comes out the winner, you're done. I know. It's going to be
a situation where, but just from Ciampa's point of view, even though he apologized, even though he seemed to have had a moment of clarity after Candice kicked Johnny in the front area, where he realized this has all gone too far and maybe it's all my fault. And so he apologized to Johnny. And then once he makes himself that vulnerable, then he gets kicked in the nuts and faces kind of the ultimate betrayal. And from his perspective, knowing Ciampa as a character, he's not going to be satisfied with any of that.
Okay, but if he came to the understanding that he was mainly to blame for all this and he apologized to Ciampa.
Yeah.
And then he gets the consequences of all this, which was a low blow from Candice, and Gargano gets to walk out. In my opinion, I see that as, okay, if this was truly my fault, I deserve that, and we're good. I could see that
but
easily.
At the same time, if I'm laying that out to you, and your response to that is not, okay, I appreciate that, is to have your wife kick me in the butthole, and you give me my own finisher on exposed wood.
Yeah.
I might be like, all right, apology rescinded. I want to destroy you again.
Okay, but here's the thing, dude. So you're going to apologize, but you're not going to accept the consequences of the actions. It's one thing to say, hey, man, I'm sorry. This was all my fault. But then you just get to walk away from it. I apologize, but as long as it's on my terms and as long as I get to get the win.
I'm not saying this is how I would do it. I'm just saying from a storyline perspective, I could see where there's a door open where this isn't over.
Yeah, I don't know.
If Ciampa comes out and drops a promo and says, hey, I said I'm sorry, this is all my fault, even getting kicked in the butthole and getting dropped on the wood, I guess in the long time run, that was my fault. All right, that's over.
When Triple H says, you can do anything in here, but when it's done, it's done. To me, that says you can bring a gun in here, shoot a guy in the leg, and it's done.
I understand all that. I'm just saying from Ciampa's perspective, based on what I know him as a character, the possibility exists that he's going to want to show up on NXT next week and rip Gargano's head off.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think by leaving the door open that amount, crack that much, it's an unsatisfying ending for me.
Okay. See, for me, it was fine. I was fine with it. I thought that the swerve with the double swerve with Candice, and then the fairy tale ending on the wood. I thought that was fine. I mean, you're right. Ciampa had closure with himself. Hey, this was on me.
Because that's what Johnny wanted. Johnny said, "You never apologized to me, Ciampa." Mm-hmm. That's what he said a couple weeks back. I never got a sorry. You waltzed in here,
yeah.
And Ciampa finally gives that to him, and makes himself that vulnerable. I can just see from Ciampa's perspective. Again, I'm not saying this is mine. I'm just saying as a viewer, as based on what I know about professional wrestling, based on what I know about Tommaso Ciampa, the character.
Yeah.
He puts himself out there. He apologizes, gives Johnny what he wants, takes responsibility, says it's all my fault.
Yeah.
And then Johnny's response is not, "Oh, you gave me what I want. I appreciate that." It's another betrayal. So I could see why Ciampa might be a little upset about that.
Yeah. For me, from my perspective, I don't see that at all. I think that actions are everything. And it's like, if you say I'm sorry, well, then you need to accept what's about to come to you. And I just don't think that. I think that the fact that they filmed this, the way they did, and it was like an hour long, and then on top of that, so here's the thing: like a lot of this match, I'll launch into my critique on it now too. I'm going to take the Cena crowd a little bit here. Have you seen The Irishman yet?
No.
Okay. So I kind of feel like the match itself was kind of pointless. Uh-huh. And so I'm really, there's a lot of parallels between this and The Irishman. It's way too long.
Yeah.
It was pointless. It was basically put in place because the algorithm of NXT really likes Gargano Ciampa, right? And the algorithm of Netflix really likes Scorsese. And so during production or during pre-production when the financing fell through for Paramount on The Irishman, Netflix stepped in and said, here's gobs of money.
Yeah.
Here's the most money we've ever thrown behind a feature film, I think. Do what you want, because we know that Netflix could get its first Oscar contender, which it did. Yeah. And it's everybody doing sort of their greatest hits, I know you didn't see it, but you've heard my,
I get the gist of what's going on. It's Netflix going for the prestige picture, Scorsese doing the super long gangster type movie. Yeah, I get all that.
It fills every sort of thing that you want out of Pacino, out of De Niro, out of Pesci being there too. Even what's his face, the bad detective guy, Harvey Keitel was there.
Oh wow!
And so it fills everything, and that's what this match was. And it was kind of blatant about that. There really wasn't a need for it. That being said, I'm not going to punish somebody for giving people maybe what they want, because I think, by virtue of this poll anyways, 80% of people were like, yeah, I'm into this, even though there were some distinct flaws to the match. I liked that they filmed it the way they did. I thought that was really cool. I thought, okay, cool. They get their own pre-film thing. It was way too long.
Yeah,
and whether it be the middle section, which I thought, when they went to the truck, I'm like, I'm okay. I never need a reason for that stuff, man. I'm like, okay, cool. Take it to the top of the truck. Why do we do that in video games? Because it's cooler. And so
we do it in the video games because someone gets thrown off. That's why there's a payoff for getting on top of the truck. Someone gets thrown off. Sure. There was no payoff here.
Gives them the opportunity to use Vanguard 1 for a shot, the drone shot. So I'm totally fine with all that stuff. I thought on paper it was probably a lot cooler than it was. It's funny because I've seen the negativity I've seen. I saw somebody say something along the lines of, WWE wanted to, they wanted to give us a match more boring than Edge Orton. And Edge Orton, I swear to God, 90% of that match was just walking. They were just walking.
Walking and brawling. And there was a lot of that in this match, but, there was some more exciting moments.
It was way more brawling in this match than there was walking. There wasn't nearly as much.
The latter third of this particular match is when they really started hitting home on the emotional aspect of it, and that's when I thought it really picked up and it started hitting its stride. Someone here in chat mentions that it'd been interesting if the match would have ended with Ciampa's apology, instead of getting them, going off in separate directions, in terms of the moral compass of things, where Gargano at this point is 100% heel. Ciampa, having apologized, putting himself out there, taking responsibility for all the damage he has wrought firmly in the face territory. But if Gargano finally got what he really wanted, it would have been interesting if somehow, I don't know how they would do that, because what is like the two things Gargano said he didn't want to have happen, or one thing he didn't want to have happen. He said he promised himself that Ciampa would never be NXT champion. If somehow that was one of the stipulations of this match, like if Ciampa won, he could never be NXT champion, or Ciampa lost, could never be NXT champion again, or something like that.
No, that's one thing I actually I kind of agree with in terms of the stakes of the match. I do think that there needed to be some sort of anchor to it beyond just, hey, this is the last time you guys.
It seemed like when they first started going this direction, it was going to be a loser leaves NXT thing. Yeah. Like that stakes, hey, Ciampa, if you lose, you can't challenge for the NXT title ever again. You got to put something really that's dear to you on the line, literally, as he puts it, his life on the line to get your hands on Gargano again. Yeah. Something. Maybe if that was the case, I'd be more satisfied with the ending too. Yeah. Because it just seemed like part of it, I don't know, maybe part of it when Ciampa apologized, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to give us an ending we don't expect, which is a reunion of sorts, a genuine reunion, or at least a genuine understanding that, all right, we're both really flawed people at this point. Maybe we'll never be DIY again, but maybe because of this, there's a way we can coexist without coming to blows all the time. Yeah. But now it just seems like, all right, they're going to eventually come to blows again. It might not be next week. It might not be 6 months from now, but the door is open enough. It feels like to me that there's justification to come back around to it at a certain point. Might not be in NXT, might be on the main roster. Who knows?
See, I'd be fine with that, because like, man, I love that kind of stuff. I always wish that they went that route with, and they kind of did at the beginning with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, like how they kept on coming back around to them. And I wish they would keep on doing that. I'm fine with rivalries that start off and then like if they naturally progress back into each other.
And I think part of this too is this final match. I don't know, kind of felt. I never really felt like the motivation, the build to it necessarily felt totally organic. And then I understand they want it to be for the face of NXT, because that's what Gargano's match against Finn was all about, and he lost that, and he feels like he needs to reclaim that title for himself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it needed to be for something more. That being said, the match in I thought that I won't criticize somebody for being ambitious, which this match certainly was. But yeah, I think also, I sort of mentioned this, and I think it's sort of true about the ladder stuff too. I mean, it's true about a lot of the empty arena stuff. There are certain types of match. So we mentioned this, whenever the gauntlet match was, I think it was last week. Certain matches need a crowd. And I do kind of feel that like early on in this match, I just sort of felt like, man, these matches were so electric with the crowd. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I sort of like rate this match outside of their normal series of matches. Just because there's no crowd. It's not live. They're not, it's more of a production than it is anything, which, I mean, if this was NXT's experimenting with new ways of doing matches, if that's the reason, motivate this and say, hey, listen, if we can't do with Gargano Ciampa, it's not going to work. I think it was a relatively successful attempt at doing that. It's just, man, a whole hour is kind of a lot.
It is a lot. It was way too much.
My only other critique of this match really was, I thought that it was something that looked good on paper, but Candice has never, ever, because I just don't think it's her. She's not the kind of person to put in a convincing, like, oh, I'm emotionally wrought. She's tough as nails, and that's what she conveys perfectly in her matches. She's not the type to be like, stop doing this. Why are you doing this? I hate my husband now. I've never liked her role in this feud, ever. Yeah. And although I really actually do like the plot twist of her kicking Gargano with the cup and then kicking Gargano in his butthole, and he doesn't, I'm sorry, Ciampa. In the balls himself, in the taint area himself. I like that. I like the plot twist. But like her performance as emotionally wrought wife, I've never been a fan of, and I wasn't really a fan of here.
I thought in this instance she pulled it off better than she had in prior instances.
Okay, all right.
Like when she comes out and yelled, "Stop, stop, stop!" I'm like, all right, they're inserting her into the story again. But then
I just like that whole. Sorry, not to cut you off. I just like that she drops off Johnny like she's soccer mom who has to go run errands, and she comes back and it's still not done. She's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm supposed to be picking you up now, Johnny."
If it's gonna go over, you need to call me.
Exactly.
I thought it was interesting when her yelling at them to stop. I was like, all right, here we go again. We've been down this road before. But when she's like, I hate my husband because of this, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is an opportunity for Johnny to have a moment of clarity.
Yo, yeah, sure.
Ciampa apologized. He's had a moment of clarity. Again, it was just like I was hoping we get something different.
Sure,
this is a different feud.
Yeah.
You know, we're so used to feuds happening where, you know, one person comes out ahead. This is so different than a lot of other feuds in terms of the depth of how they told stories, you know, using various instruments, not just as weapons and matches, but as metaphors.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that the crutch came back and we saw spots in this match harkening back to their previous matches.
Yeah.
That if they had done something different where it ended where no one pinned, instead of one of them walking out together, they both walked out together. I know it sounds like it'd be horribly cheesy. That it just would have been different. And if I feel like the pieces were there for them to do something like that and be like, all right, this ending makes sense. Mm-hmm. After all they've been through, yeah, they both realize that they're both messed up, and they both messed up. Mm-hmm. And it takes to them basically beating the life out of each other to make that realization that they both did each other wrong.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and
maybe one more than the other if Johnny be believed, and they come to grips with that. They apologize for it. They walk out again, not friends, but with the understanding that they don't have to lay hands on each other anymore.
I think it would have been spectacular if they ended the episode at a Wawa or like getting some takeout at Denny's or whatever.
They're in the back
Waffle
of
House.
Johnny's hatchback, eating some Wawa sandwiches and having a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's good. And they do an elbow pump at the end.
Well, like
then freeze frame while somebody cracks a joke and they all laugh and the freeze frames. Yeah,
I don't know. I guess maybe I was hoping for something different, and it was a situation where there's a turn, and I don't know. It didn't feel that satisfying to me. But I haven't really been that satisfied with the whole relaunch of this feud anyway. So I guess it's just par for the course for old Larson on this one.
Yeah, I like the end. I thought the end was fine. I think to me I got it when the camera, you see Johnny and Candace leaving. The Killer Cross stuff was cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
And Ciampa is just left in the ring. All he has is stupid Drake there, and he's alone, and he doesn't have his best friend anymore, and he got kicked in the butthole. I don't know. I thought I was satisfied with it. I don't see them continuing this, and I don't see a reason to. And if they do, I'll be like, okay, come on. You just said.
Well, I don't necessarily see them continuing it in the short term. Long term, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if they end up going to main roster, yeah. But in NXT, I'd be hard pressed. There's such a groundswell of like new people coming out. I don't even know what they're going to do with these guys coming up.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, I do. I mean, it's going to be Killer Cross somehow.
Yeah.
So
how about them having a ref bump in a no holds barred, no DQ, empty arena match?
I know, right?
And playing to the finish, no less.
Yeah. But
as try as they might to shoot the cinematically, they can't escape the tropes of pro wrestling, especially NXT for huge takeover level matches.
I do appreciate though that WWE. I hope that they have if they've learned anything, and hopefully it's not just to sort of satisfy the current pandemic situation. But I hope that they've learned, hey, there are other ways you can frame these things. There are other ways you can shoot these things. There's other approaches you can take to pro wrestling, not just. Although, I mean, nothing, man, I don't know, nothing beats a freaking live crowd, and you got them in the palm of your hand. There's something special about that. But that being said, it'd be cool if they took this approach a bit more. Anyways, we've talked about this match quite enough. Let's talk about the other big thing that happened, and that was, of course, the ladder match between Io Shirai, Tegan Nox, Chelsea Green, Mia Yim, Dakota Kai, and Candice LeRae. I thought this was a wild ladder match. I thought it was a lot of fun. Wish there could have been a crowd for it, but what do you know?
I mean, we talked about this before. Not only do NXT seem to put on match types that benefits from having a crowd, the way they also book the matches seems to require a crowd. Yeah,
it definitely helps. It definitely helps.
I mean, you've seen it on AEW several times, like the tag match on Dynamite last night. I didn't need a crowd. Would have benefited from a crowd, but didn't need one.
I like how you always go to AEW.
Well, I mean, it's the alternative, if you will, to WWE's product, and not just in terms of it being a different company, but I think philosophically the way they approach things is at times different. So that's why that's the reason I bring it up.
So we're gonna get Io Shirai versus Charlotte Flair. That's rad.
Yeah, that's cool. Apparently,
that's really cool.
They said on commentary that's one of the reasons she came to WWE, to NXT, was to eventually have a match against Charlotte Flair. So Io gets her wishes.
Commentary said that? Really? That's cool.
Well,
I didn't catch that.
I guess I shouldn't say commentary was Morrow this week, so I should say Morrow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. Yeah, dude, I have such a, honestly, like, that's one thing that I sort of tune him out. I can't help it though, because he wasn't. Did I tune him out?
It was just him.
Yeah, no, I know, but he wasn't on the Gargano match, was he?
No, there's no commentary for that.
Okay. I was like, dude, did I really tune him out that much? Yeah, he was, I'll be honest, man.
I wonder too, because they didn't show him at all, right?
No, I didn't see him at all.
I wonder if they sent him the tape and he did that from home.
That could be.
I think he lives in British Columbia somewhere.
That's entirely possible. Yeah, that's entirely possible. Yeah, he was too much with that ladder match. I'll be honest with you. Like, he needs a couple. I don't know, man. I don't know. I go through phases with Morrow. I think they should bring in Morrow exclusively for takeovers, because I think for takeovers he does kind of heighten the thing.
The gravitas of the shows, yeah.
But just for regular TV, man, just give me Tom Phillips.
I like Tom Phillips a lot. It's also, he benefits from having Nigel with him.
He does, and he benefits from a crowd too, and a large crowd, not just the wholesale crowd, a large crowd.
Nigel benefits, or Morrow benefits from Nigel being there, because Nigel can keep things grounded, even though Morrow was, doing the pop culture references and all the kind of stuff that he does on a regular basis. To, and he's mentioned to take over in the right circumstances. Him kind of going overboard with stuff just bring extra drama to the match, but this ladder match was supposed to be a takeover match, so I guess you can make the case that Morrow calling it makes sense. But, you really miss Nigel talking about how specific moves affect wrestlers in very specific ways, grounding Morrow's calls with the nuts and bolts of pro wrestling and how a move affects that person's opponents. And I really miss that.
Mm-hmm, yeah. No, I agree totally. Nigel's great, man. I told you during that Finn Balor bit, when they were showing the
other guy's really good.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. He sounds like a British version of Gino almost. Mm-hmm. Because he's really into it, and I don't know who he is, but man, I was watching, I was like, God damn, I should really get back into UK. I ain't got nothing else to do these days. Anyways, if you want to go through the bigger beats of this match,
sure,
feel free.
There was some pretty nasty spots. There was a table set up at one point. Here we go. Okay, so Raquel Gonzalez gets put through that table thanks to a choke slam, powerbomb combo from Tegan Nox and Mia Yim respectively, and then Dakota Kai kicks Tegan Nox off the top rope right through a ladder that was set up ringside.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
that looked rough.
Yeah.
And then the finish saw Candice and Io brawl on top of the ladder, and then Io shoves Candice off, and she lands back first right in the corner of a ladder that's up in the corner. Ow.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt.
Ow. And one of the stories going through here was Chelsea Green took a chair to the leg,
mm-hmm.
and she rolled out of the ring, and Robert Stone was trying to get her to get back in the ring, and Chelsea's like, done. And at one point, Chelsea's trying to climb up the ladder. Robert Stone gets in the ring, climbs up, and basically starts pulling her up rung by rung to try to give her that briefcase, and then that ladder gets pushed over, and then they're out of the equation after that.
Yeah, that was one thing that I thought was a bit on the, I don't know, if you have a big crowd there, or even a crowd there, and he's there, and his voice is sort of masked or meshes in with the crowd, then it's better than when it's just his voice. It just comes off as bad community theater acting.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily, the acting wasn't perfect, but I appreciated there was desperation in his voice. Because like this Chelsea Green is my brand in this ring.
Yeah.
And if she loses again, that's not good for my brand. There's a level of desperation there that I actually appreciate, not just in terms of his action, but in terms of actually his performance. And it wasn't perfect by all means, but he was hitting the beats. I understood what his motivation was.
I think I've come to grips with the fact that Robert Stonebrand is going to be one of those things that I'm really anti right now, because he just comes off as like indie manager to me. But like within 3 or 6 months, whenever we get back to a crowd, I'll probably really like him.
But I think that's kind of the thing is he hypes himself up as this huge brand, this huge deal.
Yeah.
Springing forth out of nowhere, having done absolutely nothing. I think that's the idea, is that he is indie manager promoting himself as a huge worldwide brand.
Really? I thought he was supposed to be big worldwide brand who's lowering himself to coming to NXT.
No, I think he is indie manager who's trying to present himself as huge worldwide brand.
Is he just trying to get started? He's like, he came to Florida with $150.
Exactly, and a Kia Soul. and he talked Chelsea Green to joining his brand because he thought he could find ways to get her higher up the pecking order in NXT.
He was like,
they're both come to the realization that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he was like a mail boy at some like agency, like a talent agency. He was like a mail kid, and he's like, man, I'm not getting a break here because everybody hates me, and so I'm going to just venture off on my own.
Yeah, I'm going to go start Robert Stone brand.
Yeah,
I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to carry myself like I know what I'm doing, and I think I'm a huge deal, but I know I'm not. And unless I start hiring people who could showcase that I actually have the ability to run my own brand, people are going to soon realize that I can't run my own brand and I'm a fraud.
So I'm going to climb that ladder myself. Man, I am not a wrestler, neither are you, but like when they got launched off that ladder, when who was it, Megan, Mia Yim and somebody else, I think, pushed that ladder off, and Chelsea Green and Robert Stone did the thing where he just lands on his feet and he makes it look like his head hits the turnbuckle and then he bounces off. But Chelsea Green did the thing where like her knee goes on the rope.
Yeah, I think she had to do that to sell the story of her leg being hurt too. I thought that's how I took it.
Yeah,
that was the same leg that got hurt. Yeah.
No, I agree. But man, that spot is so scary looking.
Yeah, because you kind of landed with all your body weight potentially on the other leg, and that could lead to something bad.
Your camera has froze.
Oh, it
has.
has.
While you get that fixed, we'll talk about this. Let's see here. They did a recap of Finn versus Imperium, which included some stuff from NXT UK, where Finn Balor, Mr. Baylor, took on Alexander Wolf, and Imperium tried to get involved. The ref tossed them. Wolf tried to take advantage, but he couldn't. He hit his drop kick, coup de grace, and a really nasty looking 1916.
Yeah, Wolf almost flipped himself over on his back.
Yeah,
with that move.
Yeah,
so he got the win.
Then we got a Mr. Baylor promo where he says him and Walter share a lot of traits. Like size is not one of them.
No,
nor is it
two Finns equal one Walter.
Right, nor is it impressiveness of abs. But they do things on their own time. They have creative control over.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
creative control over their worlds, and I was like, is Finn just saying that literally they have creative control over what they do in NXT?
Seems like it. Yeah. So like three people we know of: Goldberg, Baylor, and Walter have creative control.
Yes.
Yeah. And he says Walter will learn that the title he holds is on borrowed time.
Yep.
So we'll see how that works. I don't know where Walter is stuck. I don't know where Baylor is stuck. But everybody, I know Jordan Devlin is stuck in Ireland.
Yeah, Finn posts stuff on social media quite often, so I don't know if he's in the States.
I know he posted something during Mania of him and his lady in some sort of resort type looking thing.
Yeah.
They were wearing like sunny clothes.
Yeah, they're in a hot tub. I just pulled it up right now.
Okay.
That's someone's house. That's a really nice house.
Is there geo tracking on it? Well, he makes a lot of money.
Yeah, no. If that's his place, that's a pretty nice place.
Heck yeah, man.
I remember Carl Anderson said he has like a basically like a palace in Orlando.
You think all the housing prices there can't be that expensive? You think all the Bullet Club guys sort of have houses near each other?
That could be. Well, I mean, AJ doesn't. AJ lives in Georgia.
That's true. What about?
I think Carl
Cole?
Anderson lives in Florida. I think he used to live in Ohio, but I think based on the video of him in a swimming pool with the enclosure around it, that's probably Florida because you got to keep those gators out of your swimming pool.
Yeah.
I have no idea where Luke Gallows lives. Killer Cross, he probably lives in Florida now because he's in NXT. They ran another vignette for him.
Probably
the same one they've ran the last couple of weeks. After that, we had a brief video package showing Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde getting kidnapped again.
Was there any update, like any, hey, we've contacted the law enforcement about this stuff?
I feel like NXT is their own kind of sovereign nation. And so they police themselves. That's the only reason I can explain this, like why William Regal didn't contact the authorities when Aleister Black was attacked. That's
kind of odd, though, isn't it? Like your governor is also your sheriff, or your lead law enforcement officer is also the guy running the place.
Yeah. It seems like they could be, just rife for conflict of interest issues,
Hey, why did they give Everrise like a 30-minute match against, what are they called?
Indu Share?
Indu Share?
Yeah. This was the least impressive squash match I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it didn't make Indu Share look very good. They couldn't even handle Everrise. Sponsored by Blue Chew.
Well, then, they did. It wasn't like this match was ever in question.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have like a 10-minute squash match, maybe it just felt like it was that long. If you're going to have a 10-minute squash match, and I told you this via text while I was watching it, if you're going to have a 10-minute squash match, you got to have like a disturbing level of violence doled out by, in this case, Indu Share against Everrise, because otherwise it just feels like, all right, how come they're having such a hard time getting around to their finish on these guys? This match is well in hand. There's no question. As soon as there's introductions, you know who's going to win.
And it's not like they were extending it to dole out more punishment.
No,
they just had a hard time grabbing onto them.
It was a situation where okay, we're going to go kick you in the corner a bunch. Like if it's going to be a 10-minute squash match, like the level of violence doled out by the winning team or the winning participant should make you basically uncomfortable.
Should be excessive, like Marco Stunt versus Archer.
Lance Archer.
That took forever, but it was because he was getting enjoyment out of the different ways he can dole out punishment.
Yeah.
In this case, it was like they couldn't figure out how to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, no. But they had no problem retaining control of the match.
Yeah.
The match was never in question. They were never in a situation where they were in jeopardy of losing.
It was like when I played GTA 5 on Overrun, and I'm half paying attention to what's going on, and I'm trying to steal a jet, and I'm just not really successful at it. Yeah. It's it's not because I can't necessarily. It's because I'm paying attention to 5 other things.
Yeah, I couldn't catch if it was Indu Share or Induce. I couldn't catch that. Even though Morrow said it a couple times, I couldn't tell if the S at the end of is silent or not. The
mystery continues. Maybe we'll find out next week or the week after.
Yeah.
After that, we had Adam Cole poolside in his own palatial estate, I guess. And
his gamer palace he has. There, yeah.
his Twitch channel is called The Chugs, but CHUGS is all capitalized, so maybe that means something. Maybe somebody in chat here will let us know, because I just discovered it very recently.
Interesting. I saw some reference to it on Twitter, but I didn't know what it was exactly.
Anyways, he in this promo, which is shot on his phone, he calls the Velveteen Dream a pretender. He says, "You beat one of the toughest guys in NXT, allegedly, Bobby Fish, and you might have gotten lucky there, but you don't deserve this title still."
Yeah, he calls it pretender.
This is the most laid-back build to an NXT title match ever.
There's zero urgency. And if Velveteen Dream somehow wins, this is be met with a collective shrug.
I know. It will be. Might be a good match, but I don't know, dude.
The groundwork laid down has not been great, though.
Yeah, they really shouldn't do a title change here, man. They really shouldn't.
No. We got some Charlotte Rhea Ripley stuff. Same Charlotte interview that ran on Raw, and then a brief little Rhea Ripley bit backstage. She's despondent. They showed kind of a truncated version of their match at Mania, and then after that we got Gargano Ciampa. Could go through the major beats, but I think at the end is they really, once Ciampa produced the crutch, and the crutch has been such a huge important part of this story, crutch and knee brace. Weapon.
Yeah, no, we talked about it plenty already. Let's just fast forward. We even talked about the end. Let's talk about the most obvious Easter egg we've ever seen on NXT.
What were Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux doing in the car? Did they have the Wawa sandwiches and coffee?
Maybe. Was a hand job happening? Maybe.
They are a couple.
Or they were doing each other with that.
Maybe.
They're a couple. They're a hot couple. I'm assuming they have a very active sex life. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was happening. But like, why is it, number one, here's the thing, dude. There's two things that bug me about this. Number one, his promo where the clock strikes midnight, the clock should only strike midnight once right before he appears. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because it should be like a countdown.
It should be like in Watchmen where the doomsday clock is hitting midnight, and then when it finally hits midnight, that's when the shit hits the fan. Yeah.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
So that's number one, because we got another Killer Cross vignette like earlier in the episode we mentioned.
Yeah, it's the same one that they ran the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Number two, sitting in a running car
with the dome light on.
With the dome light on. Exactly. And they're both staring at the camera. And even though they're slightly out of focus, it's clearly them. And Candace and John, if anybody is in a car near me, that close to me, and it's running and they're staring at me, I know. I'm going to look at you. Yeah. I'm going to point it. I'm going to be like, all right, well, I don't know what you're doing there, but I got my eye on you.
Yeah. And I look over there and say, you're Killer Cross.
Hey, it's Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux. Big fan.
Hey, if you want to beat someone,
you guys coming here?
If you want to beat someone up, Tommaso Ciampa's in that ring.
Yeah. Do you go here now? Do you go here now?
Ciampa's in that ring, and he's just ripe for the picking.
I beat the crap out of that guy, and then she kicked him in his asshole.
So if you want to go and kick his butt some more, have at it.
Here, here's a tip: target his asshole. It's already red. It's probably
inflammation has set in.
Exactly.
Pain ensues. He might have trouble walking at this point.
She has a steel toe, like it's a steel toe tip, and it hit
her shoe
flush to asshole.
Yes,
that thing is swelling
up.
Go take care of it. So yeah, they're just stalking. I mean that. Yeah. So there's NXT. Let's take some questions, man. Let's take
some questions. I'll go through here and look at the highlighted messages. Mr. Dub. Oh, we already answered that one earlier. Dang MQ. So who would play the role of Candace during a Steve versus Larson match? Hilton or Cal?
So I think Hilton
would do it for your benefit, 100%.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take it. Cal would do it, but very joking. Like Cal would be like, look at these two idiots. Mm-hmm. Like knowing full well that he could just gut wrench the shit out of both of us, and that would be the end of it.
Yeah. Zondo, you like that they use 7 different kinds of cameras, ranging from a $3,000 movie camera all the way down to a PS2 iToy camera for this main event.
Yeah, man. Let's see here. Dominist points out an Instagram post from Johnny Wrestling himself, and it's like a trophy case, and it says, running out of room in the trophy case, and the cup is sitting up against his NXT trophy.
Yeah,
he should have. You know what he should have done to make this really spectacular? He should have stolen the Nakazawa thing, and instead of using a cup, he should have used his dirty, thong.
Yeah, or he should have taken the cup and rubbed it in Ciampa's
put it over his, like make him like breathe through it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh,
here's your mask to protect yourself.
Breathe my ball sweat.
Exactly. Cody Miles said you just officially permitted the word F. Now everyone could say it. Is this something in chat? Did you let everybody say the F word in chat here?
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that many times.
Oh, okay.
I've allowed the F word in there. I'm cool with that. Right. Well, I mean, he's the mod. If he wants to ban somebody, he can ban somebody.
There you go. Ryan K. Lamb just finished up a 14-hour shift at the ER. Have a good stream, friendos. Hope you're staying safe out there, Ryan.
Yeah, man. Hope you're doing good. Nemo, with Charlotte being NXT champ, should she be exclusive to NXT until she drops it? Yes. Did she say, or did somebody else say?
No, she said she wanted to be on other brands.
I hate that. That's stupid. You get the title, you defend it on the... Why? Okay, so fine. Let's have the Universal title defended on NXT now. No, why is it that title should be going other... What?
Universal title defended on 205 Live.
Yeah, right. Why should the NXT title be a traveling title? Like the Cruiserweight title, I understand, but that it still shouldn't be dubbed NXT's It should be dubbed WWE's if it's going to be defended on other brands.
Yeah, but it's not. Usually it's only defended on 205, which now is NXT subsidiary or NXT itself. Ryan Luckman, do you think that if this type of match between Johnny and Ciampa took place a year ago and Candice turned, then would have come off better? No.
I think if it was in the if it was in the heat of when that feud was happening, sure, because time has passed. I mean, you've noted the hug. They've gotten together as DIY. I mean, if all this stuff had taken place back then.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. If you take the hug out of it, the brief reunion, yeah. If it had just been bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Dang MQ, has Gargano gotten stale in NXT because he's been there too long?
No, I don't believe in that. I believe that it's all based on creative. I think that if creative is laying a turd, I think that any of these people can do all sorts of cool stuff if the creative is good behind it.
Yeah.
I think the same of all those people. I think that if there's cool creative stuff behind it, I mean, dude, they've been doing that with, Raw and SmackDown. It's like, yeah, are they always great? No. But, they find ways, like Seth Rollins has been on Raw for God knows how long. And it's like, I still appreciate Seth Rollins. There was a period of time 6 months ago when I didn't, but then before that, I appreciated him still. So as long as they keep finding interesting things to do, no, of course they're going to be great.
Well, I think part of it too is maybe the reason why the perception that Johnny might be getting a little stale is because he's been kind of doing more or less the same thing for 2 years.
He has been doing the same thing. Hey, I'm face of NXT guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And while he took a few detours, his match against Ricochet, the feud with Balor, by and large, it's him, Ciampa circling each other for the better part of 2 years. And I can see why that might get a point tiresome, especially when at this point it's up into interpretation whether the rekindling of this particular feud is really organically motivated and really justified. Jonathan, Candice should kick both their buttholes in a triple threat match, put an end to the feud. That is an outcome I can get behind.
Oh, a triple threat match?
Yeah, with Candice, and Candice wins.
Ooh, that's good. Mike Demopoulos. So the eventual story will be Charlotte in pursuit of her father's record title reigns. Will they count her NXT runs in that equation? I always like questions like this because it's like fans trying to get to the nitty gritty of like, what are they going to count? What are they not going to count? Even Ric Flair's like title, like they have it at 17.
16.
Even what's that?
Officially,
oh yeah, 17 would be. Yeah, you're right.
I think if you really count it, it's like 20.
It's like 25, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it depends how you count it.
Yeah.
But I think in the past I don't think they've counted her NXT title reigns because they say she's a 10-time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, but if you count the NXT, she's up to 12. Die Hard Homer, what happened in the main event? What would have happened at Takeover if it wasn't canceled? Also, Wawa stopped making food to order for now. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but other restaurants are making food to order.
Yeah, but they can't offer curbside pickup at Wawa. I don't know. I don't think it would have been filmed in the way it was.
Right. I think the story beat probably would have been the same though.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what came first, the story of the match or the pandemic. I don't know. Let's see here. So the Rain Trigger. Since Shawn Michaels is part of NXT creatively, what are you laughing at?
Die Hard Homer's question here. Go ahead. Just finish your question.
Okay. I'll get back to it. Since Shawn Michaels is part of NXT, I want to know what version of Shawn is better, before disc surgery or after disc surgery? I'm sorry, go ahead.
All around, post back surgery is probably the better Shawn Michaels. He was still performing at an exceptionally high level, and it seems like he wasn't quite the a-hole he was back in his previous run once he returned from resolving his back issues. So if the match quality didn't suffer and he seemed like a better dude and easier to deal with, give me the second run.
I feel like there's a caveat there. I feel like you're waiting to say a but. No,
there's no but. No.
Okay. I kind of appreciate, in retrospect, just how off the wall of an asshole this guy was before he left.
The only thing I didn't appreciate as much about a second run is when you used to do the crotch chop, it'd always be up here during your second run.
Yeah, I agree with that. I kind of like prick Shawn Michaels because he was so overboard, especially towards the end, like in DX. Like you basically, I've seen the outline of his dick head. and you have to appreciate when a wrestler is going to go that far.
Oh, trust me, I do.
Yeah.
But if you're talking what's the better run,
Oh, I think the better run, especially because his in-ring, like the storytelling was so good in the second run. He was just a lot cooler in the first run.
Yeah, he was really cool. Die Hard Homer, maybe Cross wanted to wife swap.
Wait, what?
Maybe Killer Cross wanted to wife swap.
Yes, that's what it is. Oh my God, we could tear
They're
that.
Hey, Johnny Candace, want to have a key party?
Yeah. It's like we could tear that vignette apart and look for clues to what their gimmick is.
Because like when the clock strikes midnight, it's not Doomsday Hour. That's when you pull the keys from the bowl.
That's F hour.
Yeah. Sky Otonic, not a question, but I found a news story. I wonder if Steven Larson see it as non-news. It's from Fightful. I saw
Gargano's
this.
Gargano looks in the key bowl and he's like, well, there's only one set of keys here and they're to your car. He's like, I can't even choose my own wives.
That would be superstars pitching to get the pile driver back on TV. Did you see that on Fightful?
I did see that. I think apparently when who did it? Damian Priest and Matt Riddle or somebody. They did that.
They got in trouble.
Didn't they do like a destroyer from like the second rope or something?
Yeah,
and they got in trouble for that because they didn't clear it first. That's great.
White Brownie, Rhea costs Charlotte the title and tells her she doesn't need the title to beat her. Meh. I think Rhea needs to beat Charlotte for that belt.
You know, I kind of like that, though. I was thinking the same thing. Because here's the thing. I don't give a shit as long as Io Shirai gets the title. That's all I want. I don't think it's going to happen. Huh?
It's not going to happen. I said it's great if it were to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
I wouldn't give a crap how it happened. I just want her to have that title.
Zondo, should one of these wrestling shows actually acknowledge the fact that they are batch taping shows and have that worked into the story? No, I don't really see how that benefits.
No, I don't. No, if they could.
I don't care. I just don't see how it benefits the product.
Yeah.
Say, oh, by the way, this match was shot 3 weeks ago. You know.
Oh yeah, I don't really care about that. I did. We forgot to mention though. I did really like Triple H's short roll at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was cool. They show up and he's just like slumped in the corner, like cool guy.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing. I want some shots of me first, and I'm just gonna be in a chair in the corner, just chilling. I'm waiting for them.
He wears a suit and tennis shoes.
Hey, you're on time. That's good. I like.
It looks like he's wearing some Airwalks. Remember Airwalks?
Maybe be early next time. Airwalks, yeah. Look at I got some British Knights through eBay. Do they still make British Knights?
They might.
What's the other one? There was British Knights, and there was what's the other one from back in the 80s?
There was LA Gear.
Yes, LA Gear. That's the one. Do they still make that?
I don't think so.
Oh, somebody can make a mint if they get that name.
They're the ones that had the lights in the heels of the shoes.
Yeah, it was rad.
Die Hard Homer, since PG-13 movies can use the F word once, what one promo from history would you insert the word?
Pipe bomb, pipe bomb, pipe bomb.
He says the Austin 3:16 speech.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, that might have stung, especially Jake. At the time he was, born again. So.
Oh, for me it'd be the pipe bomb. Give me a different answer though.
Imagine if Ric Flair could have said the F word.
Oh, wow. That'd have been great. How about this? How about Vince when he took over Nitro for that day and he's like, I bought my fucking competition.
I know. Imagine Flair cutting that promo on Bischoff. Fire me, you can't fucking fire me. Fire me, you already fucking fired me.
Eric Bischoff, you're a piece of fuck. You're a piece of fuck, really? Woo. Fuck. The glorious broken sound wave. How did Johnny's wife found where they were at? She dropped off Johnny. They were just next door. They were just next door to the.
Yeah.
They were in that.
It's by the same storage area they use for the Edge and
right, exactly.
Orton
used to be a mechanic shop.
I don't remember this promo. Mr. Dub says the Brie Bella should have died in the effing womb promo. I am not aware of that one.
That wasn't. AJ Lee didn't say that in that one promo, did she? I don't remember that. I would have remembered that.
What promo was that from?
Who said that? Was that a Kane thing? Glenn Jacobs.
Nikki said it. Nikki said it.
God. Wow.
That's
rough. I think that didn't need the F word. That's harsh enough.
That stings hard enough. Yeah.
That stings hard enough, man.
Wow.
How about? Oh, what about this? What about John Laurinaitis? Hey, everybody, it's time for people fucking power. John, what? Johnny Ace, really? Fucking people power.
There you go.
Actually, I mean, the real answer, of course, is Jake Roberts talking to Cody. Hail fucking Caesar. Fuck.
Die Hard Homer says, or when Smo Joe threatened Paul Heyman, use the F word then.
Oh, that'd be too rough, man. That'd be too rough.
That'd have been good.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was still one of the best segments.
That was really great. Alex C. How about Sid? I've got half the fuck you do. Oh, man. Anyways, I think before we get demonetized, we should probably call it a day.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. We'll be later on, we'll be dropping a news brief on you. So thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.